Have you ever stepped into a huge, bustling train station and just felt a little overwhelmed? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to break down the whole process, step by step, so you can feel like a total pro on your next adventure.
But before we get into all the how-tos, let's just remember why train travel is so awesome in the first place. This quote really nails it. There's just something romantic about it, right? It's more than just getting somewhere fast. It's about the journey itself, watching the world just roll by your window.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with what happens at the beginning of your journey. Then we'll talk about how to get around the station itself. After that, we'll cover waiting and boarding, what life is like on the train, and finally, arriving at your destination.
Okay, let's kick things off. A little bit of prep can make all the difference, you know? It's what separates a stressful, frantic dash from a relaxed, easy start to your trip. So let's make sure you're ready to go from the very beginning.
So, you've walked through those big station doors. What's next? Well, your first mission is to get your ticket. Let's figure out how to do that.
Your eyes should immediately go to those giant electronic boards. Think of them as your mission control. They have all the crucial info, departure times, destinations, and most importantly, which platform your train is leaving from.
Okay, when you get to the ticket counter, you've got a choice to make. Do you need a one-way ticket, which just gets you to your destination, or a round-trip ticket, which gets you there and back? It's a simple choice, but good to know the difference.
And you can just use a simple phrase like this to ask for what you need. Being clear and polite is always the best way to go.
Now, you've got a few options for actually buying your ticket. You can do it online ahead of time, which can save a lot of stress. Or you can talk to a real person at a ticket counter, which is great if you have questions. And of course, there are always the self-service machines.
The ticket agent might also ask you what kind of train you want. An express train is the fast one. It has fewer stops. An overnight train, on the other hand, is a completely different experience. It's basically your hotel on wheels.
Okay, you've got your ticket. Awesome. Now let's move on to the next stage, finding your platform and getting ready to board.
While you're waiting, it's super important to stay alert. Keep one eye on that big schedule board for any last-minute changes, and listen for any announcements over the loudspeaker. You don't want to miss anything.
Now, you might hear something like this. And what's really interesting here is that little phrase, on the dot. Let's talk about what that means.
So, if your train leaves at 9 on the dot, it means it leaves precisely at 9 o'clock. Not 9:01, not 8:59, exactly 9. It's a good reminder not to be late. Boarding is a pretty simple process. First, find your platform. Then, make sure you stand behind the safety line. A really important rule of thumb is to let people who are getting off the train get off first before you try to get on. Then you can board calmly and find your seat. So you're finally on board. Now it's time to settle in and enjoy the ride. Let's talk about what to expect during the journey and how to make it super comfortable.
Most long-distance trains have some pretty great amenities to make your trip better. You'll definitely find luggage racks for your bags, and there are always restrooms. Some have Wi-Fi, dining cars, or even sleeper cars for those overnight trips.
So if you get hungry on a really long trip, you can actually make your way to the dining car. It's pretty much a moving restaurant where you can get a full meal.
And this is what makes overnight travel so convenient. A sleeper car has actual beds so you can lie down, get some rest, and arrive at your destination feeling totally refreshed.
The most important thing here is just being considerate. A train is a shared space, so keeping things quiet and respectful makes the journey a whole lot better for everyone on board.
All right, as your journey starts to wrap up, there are just a few final steps to make sure you have a really smooth arrival.
Before the train gets to the station, be sure to gather up all of your personal items. It's so easy to leave something behind. Then, once you've arrived, just follow the signs to the exit.
Once you're inside the main station, you'll see signs everywhere. They'll guide you to your next ride, whether it's a taxi, a bus, or even another train.
So to sum it all up, a little bit of preparation really does go a long way. If you just follow these steps, you can navigate pretty much any train station with total confidence.
So now you've got all the knowledge you need. The only real question left is, where are you going to go next?